What is good, everybody? What is good? It is Big Game James. This is my dog Mike White, and is here for Burgers and Blitzes. Oh, now you got the fan on going crazy. Now you had it perfect. Now you got to mess it all up.
My bad. I ruined everything.
Hey, with Burgers and Blitzes here for our first week one until the end of the season. Cowboys, Giants, right here, Sunday night, going down. Well, it ain't right here. I'm in Ohio. But in Texas, you know what it is. Arlington Stadium, Jerry Jones World. It's going down. First, before we jump right into a few things, stories, injuries, and then the keys of the game. How you doing, Mike?
And I was doing all right, and it got hot again. Other than that, we cooling. We cooling. I like this Wednesday thing though. It's a hell of a lot easier to get this in on Wednesday than it is on Mondays.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing, like I said. And plus, it'll be good because after the Sunday game, you won't be stressed with that Monday coming smacking you in the face. You can prepare and come for Wednesday because Wednesday's hump day, and we can go hard in the paint, and we do game by game. But, hey, let's jump right into it right quick. First, we got some big news on the front. Terence Steele, the guy that's just worked his butt off from out of nowhere, get signed to a 5-year deal? 5-year, what, 86 mil like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Super excited about that. We have been talking about it all off season into last year when he hurt the knee, and into this off season we saw people get restructured. We saw Malik Hooker get his money. We saw Donovan Wilson get paid. We saw Zach Martin get paid. You feel me? We was wondering. We saw Trevin Diggs get paid. All the names that we were thinking, are they going to get paid or not? It was quiet on the front. Remember me? You were talking how quiet it was. And then, bam, out of nowhere, bam, signings. And here's another big signing locking down to me, who's a bookend, somebody who's a guy that deserves this money. If anybody deserves the money, to me, it's Terence Steele. He's always been a hard worker. He's always been a glue guy. He's everything you want in a player with the organization. He's still young. He's trending up. I'm super happy for him, especially after coming off that major knee injury. You ink a big-time deal, which is greatly worthy of it. What's your quick thoughts about it?
Hey, that's been my guy. I've been talking about that. Everybody was hard on him when they sacrificed Andy Dalton. That's how long we've been. Back when Andy Dalton was out there, we were still running this. It was sad as hell in here. And, everybody, Terence Steele's this, Terence Steele is that. Well, he's a UDFA tackle that they basically were willing to sacrifice Andy Dalton so Terence Steele could get some reps. And then look what happened. And not only did he's undrafted, not only is he from Big 12, which never puts, especially Texas Tech, doesn't put these linemen out like that. Then he goes out there and tears his knee up in a contract. And he beats Adrian Peterson's recovery time. The Wolverine. He beats Adrian Peterson's recovery time back from that knee injury. Ready to rock. Shout out to Big Duke. If you're ready to get that work in, he's there waiting on you. Terence Steele lived up there. If he wasn't at the Star, well, I mean, both of them were at the Star, but you get me. If he wasn't in the facility, he was over at Duke's because they can only do so much at the facility. Their time allotted hours and whatnot. So I love it. I'm super happy for him. He deserves every penny. He got up there in preseason. He looked like just where he left off. I know it's preseason, but still, offensive lineman. It's not like that Michael Gallup situation where, you got to see what's it going to be like when you ask him to leg out, 20, 30 routes over the course of a game. Something like, and then it gets into November. He ain't doing all that. So it's awesome, man. It really is awesome. I'm super happy.
Yeah, my quick thoughts on, before I ask you this question, my quick thoughts on Terence Steele. Me and Boss Cowboys actually did a video on him. And we were looking at him because this is when he went against Bradley and Nye in that Senior Bowl game, and Bradley and Nye kind of worked him pretty good. But there was potential. It wasn't one of those Chaz Green type of things. You saw even when they picked him up, but you're like, yeah, he getting worked, and yeah, there's a lot of rawness, but you saw potential there You saw it because the athletic ability, and he was try hard. And this is one of Duke's like pupils, in my opinion. This is like his pupil. So if you had anybody who ever had a Duke pupil, this is his guy. That to me, he can put it like a signature.
No,
guy.
That's his Padawan. If you wanted to use
that's his signature guy. You feel me? If he wants to use any guy, that he can use him as his signature guy. I've helped build this guy up, and look what he did. So if this guy can go as an undrafted rookie free agent to get inking deals like this, come to my camp. You got a guy. You got a little promo now, baby. You got it right now. So
I mean, look where Zach Martin was when he was in his holdout. He was with Duke. Zach Martin could have retired 3 years ago and made the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? That's real. That dude gets, and yeah, if you're there to get the work in, he's there waiting on you.
Yeah, for sure. Let me give a few shout outs right quick. Mad 4D for man. And I be messing that name up. I'm sorry. I get it right. Mel Hayes, my dog. Who else? Matty Ice in here. Hey ho, Rev Revel 95. What's good with your dog? Ezekiel Nui. Etta Lockhart. How you doing, Miss Corey Cellular? Regina Green was good with you, Corey. I think I saw Kenneth Lott in here. Jamon Cal, Vondell Jackson. Tay Cowboys was good with you, Sean Mike. So many people in there keep on coming in the building. You know, Mike brings them. I'm just Big Game James. Mike brings them in the building. But hey, quick question from Vondell Jackson, my dog. Oh, and just to let you know, smash that like button. Share it if you like. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're on Twitter Live. So you can hit that like button, smash it on all three ways, wherever you're at. Smash it on all three ways. Look at Mike. He be going ham. And I love
Wednesday.
it. Hey, I don't play. Hey, my dog. But hit that like. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you'd like to donate, you can do that too. But here's a quick question before we jump into some other topics. Do we really need Chris Jones?
I mean, I'll take him, but for me, my logic comes into the point of if you pick up Chris Jones, you're losing Micah or Lamb. They're not going to do the 49ers shit where they have $230 million of contracts outside the quarterback. They're not going to do that. So is that worth it to you? And, you know, a lot of people, I know people are down on him because, you know, I guess he didn't go out there and do an Aaron Donald in the preseason. So people forget we literally just spent a first round pick on a nose tackle. Literally just did it. Can we give him a couple weeks? Trade deadline ain't till October. If Chris Jones says he ain't showing up till week 8, we got time. If you still want to go that route. Personally, well, I'd rather go pick up one of these middle of the ground linebackers or something like that. I don't think the splash play is, for one, they rarely do that. And it's only when the team's dying and people stop showing up. You know, they've been so good at spending day 3 picks and picking up these guys like Gilmore, and they went and got Hilton, which Hilton's still in the win. I mean, that's still a thing that may happen. No, I love him. I really do, and I probably, if not the first defensive tackle in the league, he's definitely the second. And I'm, when you come to power ranking, a lot of the shit's subjective, so I'm not going to sit here and argue over that. But he's damn good. He is damn good. But what are you talking about giving up for him? You're going to give up at least your one. You're going to give up at least your one, probably Odigizua.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
A 1 of 3 and Osa.
Probably in Osa, and he wants a new deal. That's a tough nut, man, for somebody who doesn't touch the ball. For as good as he is, he doesn't touch the ball. He's not going to light you up in the sacks. He doesn't get in coverage. You're too far away from the ball, and I can't do that. I just can't. He's really good though. Wish him the best. And he's going to end up in Kansas City anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to work something out because just like you said, he's really good. And they're not too far away as far as the money goes. I just feel like push comes to shove, they'll make it work because he's damn good. And to me, he's their anchor of their defense, and they really need him if they want to continue to make a run. You can go out and get picks for him and whatever, But now you might have to wait, a year. And I know how reading them, they want to keep that train rolling with these Super Bowls. They don't want to stop that train. They don't want to stop that roll because you can get knocked off a year and it can be hard getting back. You know what I'm saying? So why not keep that roll? So as far as me with the Cowboys, I'm like you. I would love for him to be there, but I feel like you're going to have to give up a lot. And the biggest thing is he's going to want a new deal. That's the biggest thing. I could get rid of a first
30,
for him.
35 million a year.
And I had the question up here, what would happen with where would be Micah's money? That will be the issue because you just saw Boza sign his big deal. He's averaging 33 million. Micah's going to eclipse that.
Yeah.
So
just by the market.
You can't have two defensive linemen like that on the line. You paid Trevin, you feel me? And you got these other safeties. It's not bonkers money, but that's a lot of money locked up there. And then you threw in Chris Jones. I think that just Stephen Jones, I don't think he just wants to deal with that, especially when he just drafted a defensive tackle in the first round.
Yeah, I'd rather. Man, that Gallup contract stinks. I'd rather make that move. I'd rather go trade that 2 or 3 for a wide receiver, something on the offense, something on that side of the ball. I think this defense has more than enough stock put into it. If you want to talk about making a trade, going and getting a player, offensive lineman, wide receiver. That's really my hang up. I mean, it's been that way all the way through the draft, and they didn't really address it in the draft, and they didn't really address that. Linebackers, sure, but if they're really
need it like that,
if they're going to move, well, linebackers and running backs are the same thing. They're the same position, different sides of the ball. I would rather not, but I'm not against it. I thought they were going to get one on the cut down days, but some guys didn't make waivers and some other stuff happened. They were never going to trade a pick for one, but they were trying. I nailed the OL though. They went and got somebody there. And speaking of callbacks, Gallimore got awful close to getting cut, didn't he?
Yeah, but he knew what he had to do, right? He had to restructure, he had to get it together, and bam, there it is. You feel what I'm saying? So, that's a good thing. I think I talked to my guy Brandon Tucker. He was on here. He's been training him, and basically, this is what he told me. He said, he basically found his cheat, and he said, got a little more serious about the pro game. And I think that's where you saw them probably keeping him because maybe they saw attitude change. Maybe they saw more seriousness from my guy even saying that. So
Fair.
Maybe that helped in keeping him. And plus, my guy also told me he was up to 330 last year and he's down to 303 right now. So that definitely helps. You're losing weight, showing that you're being dedicated. That can keep you. You know what I'm saying? Attitude change can keep you on the team, especially if there's some kind of talent.
Not with the off the field stuff, but there was a lot of the reason I was barking up that tree about him maybe being out is there was a lot of the LC rumors about him as far as how serious he wants to take this, and like when he hurt his elbow, how do you want to rehab? Where are you at? Can we find you? Or you showed up when you say you're supposed to be? So there was a lot of that. There was a lot of that going on behind the scenes. Haven't asked that much lately, but he's here and good for him. Pay cut. It's either that or you go sit on the couch. Wait for somebody to come pick you up. Tag Lamb. I got to look what his number is, but that first round franchise tag is a hit. I had to look at it, but that's why I stay away from contracts. That shit is it's witchcraft, man.
Yeah.
Dude, like Aaron Rodgers' cap hit this year is like $1 or some crap, or maybe it's that, it's none of this stuff makes sense. It's funny math. So, no, I wouldn't tag him. I would pay what I would do.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm gonna kind of leave that alone for right now because down the line I want to kind of concentrate on these boys right now. You feel me? But no, Vondell asked right quick, do we get a cheaper running back for what? We're good. I feel like we're totally fine. I keep trying to tell people Rico Dowdell's going to surprise y'all. Y'all heard it here first. I ain't saying I've been the only one on the Rico Dowdell train, but I've been on there tough for a while. What's up? You know what I
I've been
mean?
talking. I've been talking him up since before he hurt his neck.
So he's definitely going to help, and he's going to surprise a lot of people this year. So we don't need to get another running back. But let's talk about, obviously, we're hyped about Terence Steele, but there's an injury front going on right now. 3 people didn't participate on injury front today were Sam Williams, need him, Donovan Wilson. Yeah, you definitely need some Donovan Wilson. And the huge one that came out of nowhere, Tyler Smith. They took him in for an MRI. He had a hamstring strain. He did not participate in practice Wednesday. What's your thoughts on these injuries, and particular Tyler Smith?
That last one. That last one is the one I want to focus on, because if he's not, I don't want it remotely in question. And I understand who is going to be on the inside of that defensive line. I was the one championing Dexter Lawrence in that draft. If y'all remember, I wanted that dude over everything, which, by the way, Dave Gettleman turned that Odell Beckham trade into Dexter Lawrence, which neither here nor there. They really fungled that one up. I don't want him to remotely risk injuring that hamstring in the long run for one game. I don't.
Agree. I agree. I think that's because the thing is, it's a hamstring, and that will linger all year, and it could get worse, especially on the line of scrimmage. You get somebody attacks you, you move the wrong way, that joker pops, then you're out 8 to 9 weeks. Could be you cannot lose Tyler Smith.
Now when we have that early bye, so he'll get I know it's a month away when he technically should be healed, but he's a month away from getting a bye week where he can have a week off, and then we get 11 straight. We get 11 straight to end the season again. And I keep harping on that, because it's a big thing. That's a full college football season that you play after your bye week. And they would probably activate both of them.
Who would you play? Who would you start between those guys?
Probably Richards. But Bass is still light in the ass, man. And then he's playing some knuckles.
I think they got him listed at 340.
I understand that. Just the way I understand the weight. Just right. When I watch them play, and the way their hands are. I mean, let's be honest. I'm not going to throw a fit either way. But right. You asked me to say a name, so it's that. Damn it! Why do we have to go against Dexter Lawrence when our damn left
Dexter
back?
Lawrence. Matter of fact, since you're talking about it, I'm just going to go ahead and pull it up right now. You feel me? There it is. Excuse me if you can't see everything, but there it is right there in front of your face. It'll be coming up soon on your guys' TV. But right there, you see Kayvon Thibodeau, that he's going to be a problem. I don't care. Nobody tell you. He's going to be a problem for Tyron Smith Sunday night.
Well, that's part of my Richards thing, because he's fast.
Mm-hmm.
Thibodeau's fast.
And Tyron Smith has problems with those. And he's got some strength, too. He's got the steps to strength. And he's the type of guy, in my opinion, Mike, that's a setup guy. You feel what I'm saying? He's a setup guy to where
they're gonna run stunts all night at Tyron Smith to see how he can move. And I want somebody beside him that can move.
Yeah, because he's gonna be coming at him all different kind of ways. Like Tyron Smith is he's gonna have to be ready, because Thibodeau, I think, has got a little bit of a toolbox now, and I think he's gonna try to use it because he knows the advantage that he has on Smith. Even though we know Smith is good. We done talked about this time and time again, that body breakdown. And then you got Leonard Williams up front. We know about Dexter Lawrence, but Leonard Williams ain't no chopped liver, and he's a pass rushing D tackle.
I feel like that dude's been playing at a high level for like 30 years. I don't even know how old he is, dude.
I know, right?
It feels like Tyron Smith. They've both been in the league for 25 years, and they're both like 18 years old. None of it makes sense.
He's 29. He's 29. He's a beast, though. He's a beast.
That dude's been in the league for at least 10 years.
I mean, then I'm showing Dexter Lawrence. That guy's 6'4", 242.
Dude, he's up. I
That's a
loved
big
him
boy.
so much in the draft, man.
You got some guys. You feel me? You got some guys right there. I showed you Leonard Williams, and then you got Kayvon, who's no joke, right? You know, I'm that's one of the guys. I know you talked about Dexter Lawrence, and Leonard Williams is another guy I'm looking at. But Kayvon is a guy I'm really looking at that could have that. I feel like we got to keep our eye on him because he could have that game. You understand what I'm saying? And Ojulari, you know, he's not a bum in the streets neither. You know what I mean?
No,
He's not a bum either. So you got that front four that's going
I
to put
wanted
some
him.
pressure out there.
I wanted him over that guy we traded a week ago. You know, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my guy Isaiah Simmons. I know a lot of people are down on him because he went to Arizona, where defensive talent, especially goes to die.
Right.
But you think Wink ain't going to be ready to use him?
Oh, he's definitely going to use him with that speed. And now
It's going to
because
be
he
all
was
tackle
always that twinner.
blitzes.
Yes.
Yep.
He's going to blitz the hell out of him. He's going to blitz the hell out of – just be thinking of Isaiah Simmons on blitz package all game because he's going to be in there.
You don't want him in coverage until I see it.
That's where we got to isolate him.
Which is weird because that's the thing he was actually good at coming out of school. But I think he's just so broken now that he's a north and south player, and it's not east-west as much as it was anymore. Until I see it. Let me see it again, which is why I was ready to give him the 7th round. Dude, I was going to give a 4th. They gave a 7th. I would have done that in a freaking heartbeat. Yeah. Especially when you got this situation with Donovan Wilson and Sam Williams. Mm-hmm. Which, when you talk about turf toe, man, I get PTSD from that because I'm old enough to remember that retiring Dion.
Yeah, and turf toe, it don't get better. You got to like rest it. That's the only way it gets better.
It's a goofy name. They shouldn't call it turf toe. They should call it joint rot because that's what it is. It's a rotting of your damn knuckle and your big toe is what it is. But turf toe sounds goofy. It sounds like you were out there without socks on and you know, scratched your foot up running routes or something. That ain't the way it is.
Yeah, well, turf toe, no toe, it's a big thing. Like you said, that's something to be monitored to me all year because with that turf toe, just like what Dion said, he said, don't get better, but rest. And rest right now when you're pushing off of that foot, that's going to be something to totally look at, and that's something we need to keep our eye on.
250, 260 pounds.
Exactly, coming off that edge. So something to be looked at, and also something to be looked at. And I know it's not a big deal, but Isaiah Land could have still been on the squad.
I was having a good day. I was having a good day.
Sam Williams hurt. You could have kept him.
Didn't that happen like literally not even 48 hours later?
Dog. Crazy. Let me get this question out there because it's kind of blocking us. But this is a super chat from Eternal Dynasty. Appreciate you for the $4.99 holla. Hey ho. If we can't beat the Giants with a backup left guard, then what are we doing? I feel you. Are we really one old lineman away from being an average team? No need to panic. I can feel that. I mean, nobody's panicking, but he's a big Tyler Smith is a big part of this.
When you're talking about soft tissue injury coming into the year, that's not what you want.
Right.
Now, if you want a silver lining it, you know, I'd rather it happen now than happen in December when our line usually falls apart at the end of the year every damn year. I don't want that to happen. But the issue is, you know, it's a primetime game, so there's a reason behind this train of thought. These games, you know, I know the record with Dak versus the Giants is, you know, he supposedly kicks their ass, which he does on paper. But a lot of those games weren't exactly.
We go all the way to the third, fourth quarter in a lot of the games.
We wasn't on cruise control. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like we went out there and boat raced some boys.
No, we didn't.
You know, in these divisional games, man.
And then you got primetime Sunday. You got the offensive line with musical chairs going up against Dexter Lawrence, Thibodeau, and them. I mean, the Giants aren't a bad team. Nope. They're not. And they have a functional coaching staff and a functional front office now, which is not very fun. I do not appreciate the fact that they did that. If they would have, if they would have consulted with me, I would have talked them out of that and then said, you know, what you could really do is just collect your check and not do a whole lot and still get the same money. They'd have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Um,
hyping Daniel Jones, but you know what? You say that. You say
see,
that.
here's the
He,
thing.
He's
Before
my
you
key to
finish,
he's my key to stop the game, dude.
but here's my thing. People just keep. I ain't saying it's you, Trey, but and from me, I'm hearing just a lot of Cowboys people because they hear that number about Dak, about 10-2. He ain't lost to him since 2016, his rookie year,
law of
and I
averages.
and I feel that, and I feel that. But one thing I don't like, Mike, and I hate this, is every time you always hear Dallas ain't lost to this team in 15
I
tries.
hate that. Dude, I
Dallas
hate this.
ain't lost to this team in 26 years.
Brad Chan be like, it's
115 passing attempts for Dak Prescott without an interception.
Oh, it's an dog. Dog. Every time I hear those numbers, it's been 134 times Dallas had the lead this long, and that ain't never happened. Now it was 134-1, like that had never happened, like with Jerry. So, dog, every time I hear that noise, that's when I'm like, be quiet. I stop saying the record, stop saying that, stop talking about that, because
this
that's not
team's
what I want to
allergic to
hear.
expectations.
This
Dude.
team, I don't want to hear that, because here's my thing, Mike. Like you said, I posted on Twitter that this game is going to be a lot tougher than a lot of people say, because we ain't been blowing the Giants out. Yes, do I think we're going to win? Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that this is going to be a tough game. We don't blow them off out the door. Daniel Jones can run. Yes, he's not the deep ball thrower, but he's effective enough to where he can give us problems. Saquon Barkley is back there. Now, I want to finish on the defense, because here's my thing. We got to look at, here's two things that we need to exploit, in my opinion, right here. I like Deonte Banks, but he's a rookie. You feel me? He's probably definitely one of those starters on one side of the field. And then they put Adoree Jackson in the slot, okay, which he might be matched up, because they probably threw him in the slot because he's probably going to might be seeing some CD Lamb. Then they got another rookie in Trey Hawkins, the third from Old Dominion. This is the matchup and the exploitation. And then I think we need to attack their linebackers underneath with our running game, with Tony Pollard in the flats, screen game. We saw that in preseason. I think we can get at their linebackers and expose them. We neutralize that front. But I feel like, in my opinion, Mike, to really get after this defense, exploit those young guys, put pressure on them, and go after those linebackers. Kind of what's your thoughts?
I feel like Fergie could have 100 yards.
I think didn't he have a good game against them the first time?
Don't catch me lying, dude. My memory,
I think he
my
had
memory's dog shit. But
I think he did.
Especially if they want to run that right at Isaiah Simmons, and let him.
You keep talking. I'm gonna pull that up.
Figure it out. So I think that's the one right there. And they don't have any speed on the outside that can keep up with Cooks. But the problem is, can our line hold up so those plays can actually get off the ground?
And that's what it is. Can Dak have time in that pocket to be able to do what he can do? Because Wink Martindale is going to bring the pain, especially if a Tyler Smith is out. He's going to be going blitz crazy, dog.
It might be the week that Hunter Luepke checks the fuck into the NFL.
Could be.
Because they're going to have to do something. If Tyler don't go, they're going to have to put somebody back there. And McKeon's on the practice squad. That was usually their jumbo package guy. So is it going to be him now? Is he going to be active for the game? We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see. Let me see right here. Here it is right here.
So
I think I pulled it up. Hold on. Yeah, that's it. So just looking at those stats in that game, I think that's what we're talking about. Lamb had 6 for 106. I don't know if that was the first game. So he had 3 for 57 in the first game. Gallup had 5 for 63. I think this is a game where Dalton Schultz had 4 catches for 31 yards. Fergie had 3. So that's 7 right there, just with your tight end.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz was always a giant killer.
Right. So I think this is the year where you get a Jake Ferguson doing that, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I said that. And pick a name if you want it to be Fergie or you want it. I don't think it'll be Scoon. I don't think he gets the start. I don't think they think. Actually, I know they don't think he's ready yet. So
This is a thing from Kenneth Locke. Me personally, I don't care about this. I don't even want this. I just want Dak to be an effective quarterback and get us to where we need to go. I don't care about the MVP or none of that. I don't care about that anymore. It's not about that with me. It's about him getting to championships and Super Bowls now. But I'm gonna ask this question from Kenneth Locke. Shout out to you for the $5 holla. How high do you think Dak can go this season? Can Dak be on the short list of a All-Pro league MVP like Hurts was last year? I mean, he could, but I don't care. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. I don't think he does.
Let's get one thing straight. Like Hurts was. Like Hurts has never been the passer that Dak Prescott is.
He's not bad though. He improved.
He improved. He also had 80 total passes last year while trailing because they had a badass. They were basically the 49ers of the NFC East. And then the only reason they got past the 49ers is because the 49ers lost their fourth string quarterback. So that said, I don't, like you said, I don't like, if the honors come, the honors come. It sounds like a cop out, but it's not even that. I just brass tacks. I want Dak to have a healthy year where he plays consistent football, and we get a consistent offensive line so we can play consistent football. We haven't had a consistent offensive line in almost 4 seasons. I keep hearing about this elite OL and this, that, and the other because people look at his total sack numbers, not realizing the Houdini shit he does before the snap because everything's all boogered up. So that's what I want. I want a healthy offensive line, and starting week 1 with a hamstring injury does not give me much hope for the guy that was supposed to be the healthiest one on the offensive line.
Yeah, we'll see on that. Shout out to Kenneth Lott for the $2 holla. 12 to 14 win season. I mean, I already said 12 to 13. I mean, I'm probably there with that, but I ain't.
It's a 3-horse race in the NFC, and that's assuming the Niners can figure it out with whoever they're going to play at quarterback. I don't think the Giants backslid into the playoffs last year. I just don't. Who else?
They're going to be a better team. They got a good staff. I think they're going to be a better team, but I don't know. They got a tough schedule as well. They got to show back-to-back years with it. Dabo was the darling last year, but you got to show me 2 years in a row. Not saying they don't have a good staff, but you still got to show it 2 years in a row.
I hate that Dabo gets all the credit for that, like Mike Kafka ain't the one running that offense. That's annoying.
Yeah.
That's Kansas City's offense. It's what he brought over from Andy Reid. Andy Reid's offense, if that's what you want to call it. Because Andy Reid's coaching tree's 5.5 miles wide.
Right. For sure. What do you think about this question right quick? Not to cut you off, but this from Just Blaze. BGJ, can Tolbert give us 600 yards, 8 TDs coming off the bench? No. I don't think he's giving us 8 TDs.
The 8 TDs is a lot to ask, but
CD Lamb barely getting 9 or 10. Damn sure Tolbert ain't getting it.
The 600's not out of it. I don't think 600's
out of the question. Yeah. But I don't think
but eight's a big number on the TDs, especially if they're going to be using Pollard like they plan on using him and stuff like that. The way they like to throw the tight ends. So it's just a lot. I actually said a couple hours ago, I was fading Tolbert last year, and I was trying to calm everybody's expectations, and they were just, he's going to be a better rookie Gallup. No, it's just people get out of their skis. This is the year where I would buy some Jalen Tolbert stock. But when I say buy Jalen Tolbert stock, I'm not meaning 8 touchdowns. I'm meaning maybe 600 yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns, maybe, which would be a solid contribution if you're number 3 to 5 wide receiver. However, he pans out that way.
Right. I feel that. I mean, I'm with that as well. I agree with you. I'm about to pull this up. Now, before we kind of get off of here, let's talk about the offense. Because this is what I said, Mike, and I want to get your thoughts on it right quick. I said this is what, we're going to have to deal with. On that offense, a lot of play action. They like to run that play action, rollouts, screens, dump-offs, work that middle of the field, especially now that you got Darren Waller. They're going to try to extend it, but but they're definitely going to try to work that middle of the field wall. I think they're really going to try to exploit him. And then look out going deep with Jalen Hyatt after the play action, deep with Jalen Hyatt. Now, with their offensive line, you got Neal, who got beat up last year by D-Law, had 4 sacks. We knew that was coming. He's coming to his year 2. They got the rookie and John Michael Schmitz Jr. from Minnesota, who, he got a lot of good views coming out of college. And then, they got now the all-pro Andrew Thomas, who kind of grew into his own after kind of a couple years from Georgia. What's your kind of thoughts on that offense and maybe what I said, and what's your kind of thoughts on the game? Because you said that was one of your keys was Daniel Jones.
Because here's my thing with Daniel Jones. Last year in that new offense he had 12 attempts for 100 yards rushing. Keep him contained and put him on third down. Let me get to my Twitter for just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Give me about 7 seconds and I'll have the numbers for you on who he is. Since 2019, Daniel Jones on 3rd and 7 to 9 is 58 for 111 with a 52% completion percentage, 5 touchdowns and 3 picks. On 3rd and 10, 99 of 150, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 128 sack yards. Get him to 3rd and long and make him show you who he is. That is the key. Don't let him scamper on that 3rd and 3, that 3rd and 4, and pick them yards up. Get him to 3rd and long and wear his ass out, because he was not. He's just not that guy. Let him prove to you he's a mid-tier quarterback with not a lot of options. I mean, Paris Campbell. What are you talking about? Darren Waller, hurt guy. Slayton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot there. Hell, even Barkley's hurt guy. Let Barkley, if they want to run Barkley, I doubt they will, because they're, that's not the way they do it anymore. But let Barkley get 100 yards. We'll win by 25. But
yeah,
keep Daniel Jones inside the pocket from picking up and explaining, or not explaining, but expanding on those drives and keeping the drives going and keeping the defense on the field. And you'll win the game by 2 possessions.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, that's the biggest thing, just kind of going through his numbers right now. That's the biggest thing. If you said here, I'm pulling up right here on the rushing snaps. Designed runs, they had 65 designed runs, 56 scrambles, designed run yards, 274, scramble yards, 429, and 7 rushing touchdowns. So that's the key right there. Not scared of Daniel Jones throwing that ball. We know he's going to work that middle. We know he's not a great deep ball thrower. Like you just said, get him on 3rd and long. He's sus. I don't think he's great anyway. But, here's my key thing that I'm pulling up right there. Those designed runs, you feel me? The design run yards and the scrambles and the scramble yards. Because, once again, we know we're going to get pressure on that offensive line, right? We know we're going to get pressure on that offensive line, Mike. Hold contain is what it's going to be. I totally agree with you. We can't force him where he's automatically thinking he's going to run, because, those when it's 3rd and 4 and we know we got him and he gets out of there and gets a 6 or 7 yard gain, it's going to be frustrating, especially when you can get him off the field. You just scored maybe. You can get him off the field, and them little scrambles keep that team hanging around. That's what we have to squash, because those scrambles will keep them hanging around like it has in other games. When he's scrambled,
make him get in a boat race with that, because he can't hang.
He can't hang throwing that ball. He can't do it.
No. Make him get in a boat race.
Yeah. So make him get in that boat race, and we're gonna see what happens with that. Is that my dog Solomon Page from Dallas Cowboys for real? If that's my dog Solomon Page for real, say yes. That's been on the show, Mr. Solomon Page. They used to play with them Dallas Cowboys. Solomon Page. If that's you, say yes, and I'm gonna just highlight you right quick because that's my dog. But any other kind of quick keys to the game besides Daniel Jones for you?
Besides the defense, I mean, we already talked about the defense. There's really nothing. People are scared about. I'm not scared of Waller. I'm not.
I'm scared about it. I'm just saying they're going to go to him.
Yeah, for sure. And then we got Curse, and we got LVE.
Right.
You know, I if our offensive line holds up, I know it sounds like a change of tune because I know it's still at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's still an NFC East matchup, and it's probably going to be a tough fight, especially on prime time. With the first game, where everything's kind of the first month of the season are kind of sloppy, even for the people that played in preseason because it's different reps and the whole squad ain't played together and this, that, and the other. But if Dallas goes out there and execute, they'll win by 14 points. It's just a blowout in the NFL, despite popular belief.
Well, I think if we're going on my kind of keys right quick as we get ready to head off here, just on my offensive side of attacking them, Gallup, Lamb, Cooks, go after them boys. For me,
Yeah.
Fergie, big game. Dak Prescott, give him time. I think he's going to cook up this defense. If we work that all defensive line that we've been talking about, if we work that defensive line, Dak Prescott's going to have another big game. And Tony Pollard can eat. Our whole offensive team can eat. It's going to be dependent on that O-line. We haven't seen them all season, all preseason, but a lot of teams haven't. But to see them all together, this may not even happen with Smith. But if it does, or if it doesn't, we handle them on that front line because that's the key, those trenches. I think we'll handle them pretty good. They might stay with us close in the first half because they usually do. And then the second half is where we kind of beat them down. And Tony Pollard kind of might get loose in that second half as well.
Let me get some Dak scrambles. Let me get some Dak scrambles, little design runs. Let me get 40 yards rush from Dak Prescott and a goal line touchdown and see what this game looks like at the end.
I agree. But appreciate you, dog. Another great show. Shout out to everybody who was in the show. Shout out to everybody who donated. Shout out to everybody who donated. Really appreciate everybody who was in the building. We had 156 between all the channels. Really like I said, appreciate that. I said Mike brings them. I do not. So, I always say that. It's cool. But this is the new day. Now we were going on every Monday. Burgers and Blitzes was doing every Monday. But it was better and easier for us to go with the Wednesday. So from now on, make sure you put this on your calendar. Check it out. Every Wednesday night at this time, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern. Wednesday, hump day. We'll be doing game day coverage, the game after. And then we'll be talking those things before the next game. So just getting excited for the season, Mike. It's our first season with Burgers and Blitzes the whole way through. So I'm excited for that. And I'm excited for this week 1 matchup with these Giants. Finally, time to get this season going. Enough of the talk. Enough of all the back and forth. It's time to finally start getting it in and make it happen. And, enough of the talk. It's time to make it happen. So is there any last words before you get off here today, dog?
Just a reminder, I'm going to lose my mind on Sunday night. In-game tweets are a safe space.
Yeah, don't pay no attention to him on his tweets because he talk crazy on his tweets and he be emotional as hell and he just be talking crazy like a lot of guys. But after he calms down and gets it together, he's better. But he's an emotional tweeter. I emotionally tweet too. I think we all do. But sometimes you go ham. I don't be
that
going
little
ham.
3 to 4 hour window, about 16 to 18 weekends a year, it's a roller coaster.
But it's all good. But like I said, we're excited. It's time to try to get this road to 6, man. This is the time. The time is now. Because if we don't do it now, this team going to look drastically different next year. For real.
Sir.
All right. So for myself, Mike White, Burgers and Blitzes, we'll be hollering at you. Tune in next Wednesday, 6:30, 7:30 Eastern time. Peace. We out.
Peace.
And once again, like I said, make sure you tune in. I believe we got the big star coming on tomorrow with me and my girl Stargazer. We'll still talk about Giants, Cowboys from her perspective. I know she's doing it with Craven Cowboys, I believe. Shout out to her. And go over their channel. If they haven't already started, go check them out because I think they're breaking it down. But I think we'll have the Big Star show tomorrow. Everything goes through and we'll break some more stuff down. Make sure you tune in Saturday, Best of Enemies, right before Sunday game time. We got a lot of good stuff. Keys to the game for the Philadelphia Eagles against those New England Patriots, and keys to the game from our end from the Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, and who might be a star player, who might be a sneaky player. We got a lot of that coming up this Saturday on best of enemies. So make sure you tune in. Shout out to my guys on the final word. I was not able to make it yesterday. I was knocked out. I ain't gonna even lie. I just overslept, and that was my fault. But I was going through some things. But shout out to my guys for the final word, holding it down. I'll be back on there next week. Can't wait for that. And we'll be talking Cowboys, Giants then, and that victory, because we are definitely going to get that dub for sure. So appreciate everybody who was in the building. Once again, Trey Fargo, Sugar Daddy Williams, Eastside Harold, you hater, but you a lover too. Ty Condell, Tay Cowboys. Who else we got? Is it Sean Carrick Kendall? I don't know if I said that correctly, but I appreciate all your input and your donation. I believe Revel, appreciate you. Fox Radamas, Cowboys, Thanos, Solomon Page Sr., Tavis Banks. Who else do we have in here? Going through the list with so many. Jamon Cal. Got to give y'all shout outs. William Kill. You feel me? So many people that was in the building today. Really appreciate y'all for contributing, talking, all that good stuff. But I'm going to get off of here, and I got to leave it with the signature song. You know what it is. We got to go out with it more than anything else. Where are we at? I'll talk to y'all. Big Game James. We out. Peace.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
How about them Cowboys? Cook like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Big game, first name James. He interview, he called the games. Silver blue, you know the name. From the Emmitt Smith to the Michael Irv. We beating skins, shooting birds. I see a bank and snatch it out his fur. Favorite team on the planet Earth. From Monday night to Sunday church. DJ putting in the work. I'm tuning in, no need to search. Through thick and thin and good and worse. Them Cowboys, click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that silver and blue done did it again. Them Cowboys, click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that silver and blue done did it again.